Let's explore the real quantum mania.
Let's talk tech.
Welcome to News.exe, the best technology-centric news show on the Burk IT YouTube channel, guaranteed. I'm Michael Trotter-Lawson.
And I'm Noah Parker. This week we discuss how computing is going to change for future generations. But first, it's time for notable news you need to know.
Gaming has become a very popular hobby for service members in the U.S. military, and that has created some security concerns for the armed forces. The enthusiasm military personnel have for gaming, and the risk that carries, is in the spotlight after Jack Teixeira, a 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guardsman, was charged with illegally taking and posting highly classified material in a geopolitical chat room on Discord, the widely popular social media platform commonly used by gamers. State secrets can be illegally shared in countless different ways, from whispered conversations and dead drops to any social media platform, except Twitter, since you had to be verified to be seen by anybody. But online gaming forums have long been a particular worry for the military because of their lure for young service members. Plus, U.S. officials are limited in how closely they can monitor these forums to make sure nothing on them threatens national security. Dan Mayer, a partner at a law firm specializing in military and security clearance issues, said, quote, "The social media world and gaming sites in particular have been identified as a counterintelligence concern for about a decade," end quote.
A group of progressive Tesla shareholders want the company's board of directors to force CEO Elon Musk to focus more on actually running the electric vehicle manufacturer. In a letter to the Tesla board, the group says that Musk is not spending enough time and attention focused on issues facing the company, including increased EV competition from other automakers and addressing issues such as allegations of a toxic work environment at Tesla. Famously and infamously, according to some, Musk also leads Twitter, SpaceX, The Boring Company, and Neuralink, among other lesser-known companies. The letter says, quote, "We each initially added Tesla to our portfolios because we saw Tesla as a true leader in producing products and services essential for our transition to a sustainable and green economy. Over time, however, we have grown increasingly concerned with governance and leadership issues at the company," end quote. The group has stated, however, that it is not advocating that Musk be replaced as CEO. I think at this point, Elon Musk should just give it all up and start a new company called Elon's Amazing Adventures and just do whatever he wants.
Let's talk about a growing pile of trash, but not the one floating in the Pacific Ocean. Instead, this pile of trash is currently in thousands of schools masquerading as computers. We're talking, of course, about Google Chromebooks, the cheap laptops that schools acquired en masse in response to the need for remote learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. The U.S. Public Interest Research Group Education Fund has found that these Chromebooks, due to their short lifespans and lack of repairability, are both less sustainable and more expensive for schools than pricier, higher quality devices might be. The group estimates that if the 31.8 million Chromebooks sold in 2020 had double the lifespan, that would cut emissions by 4.6 million tons of C2E, the equivalent to taking 900,000 cars off the road for a year. Besides the ecological impact, the low quality of these Chromebooks is also far from cost-effective, as the devices are difficult to repair while being very easy to break, resulting in many schools only getting a few years out of any Chromebook at best, while also killing the laptop's resale value, leaving many schools considering better devices for future technology acquisitions.
In news that could only happen in the 2020s, Twitter is specifically adding the blue verification checkmark to dead celebrities and claiming that they paid for Twitter Blue. Kobe Bryant, Anthony Bourdain, Chadwick Boseman, and Michael Jackson each got a posthumous check, and their accounts said they'd bought a Twitter Blue subscription and verified their phone numbers. These posthumous Twitter Blue badges may run afoul of laws protecting consumers from false endorsements, as in California's Civil Code 3344.1. Any person who uses a deceased personality's name, voice, signature, or likeness in any manner for purposes of advertising or selling products, goods, or services without consent from the person is liable for $750 or the amount of actual damages sustained, whichever is greater. Alejandra Carabello, a clinical instructor at Harvard Law Cyber Law Clinic, tweeted, quote, "Considering that the blue check states that someone is subscribed to Twitter Blue and paying for a product, falsely adding that to large accounts may constitute a deceptive trade practice." End quote. Seems like Twitter needs to take a long look at the man in the mirror.
That's all for today's notable news you need to know, which means it's almost time for our main story. But first, this. Are you tired of your computer crashing in the middle of an important project? Endless IT issues causing you regret? Say goodbye to all that worry, and hello to the solution, stress-free IT. I'm Mikey T.
And I'm Noah Pitchman Parker, and we're with Burk IT, a managed services provider located right here in beautiful Northeast Tennessee.
Our team of expert technicians will keep your systems running smoothly, so you can focus on what really matters, your company.
With stress-free IT, you'll never have to worry about a thing. We provide proactive monitoring and maintenance, ensuring your company is always up to date and running at peak performance.
And if something does go wrong, we answer our phones live and have a 30-minute response time or less, guaranteed.
But that's not all. With stress-free IT, you never have to worry about hidden fees or surprise charges. Our pricing is transparent and predictable. And with all the problems we proactively prevent, it practically pays for itself.
And the best part, you don't have to lift a finger. We'll take care of everything, from setting up your systems to managing your backups. You can relax and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with knowing your technology is in good hands.
But wait, there's more. Is your web presence lagging behind? We'll make it top of the line. It's that easy. That's right, Burk does web design too.
Our clients pay less and never have to pay extra for revisions or updates. We'll work on your website until you're satisfied, and that's the Burk IT guarantee.
So don't wait any longer. It's time to put stress in the past and get an IT partner that will last with Burk IT.
Contact us today to learn more and experience stress-free IT for the low price of...
As a rule, Burk IT does not disclose pricing publicly. Pricing may vary depending on your business's IT needs. Contact us to learn more. Get stress-free IT today.
Something does go wrong, we answer our phone live.
And predictable. I got excited because you...
Today, our main story is about the future of computing. In the last 50 years, computers have evolved incredibly rapidly, so quickly that many of the most prolific and capable computer engineers from the 60s and 70s would find modern devices totally foreign to them. This is also why every new generation has to become the prior generation's free tech support. This follows a well-known phenomena of computing advancement, known as Moore's Law. Moore's Law is the observation that the number of transistors in an integrated circuit doubles about every 2 years. Moore's Law is not actually a law, rather it is an observation and projection of a historical trend. In layman's terms, Moore's Law means that processing power and therefore computer speed and capability doubles roughly every 2 years, a trend that has consistently held true since 1975. However, Moore's Law is about to face its greatest challenge, the actual laws of physics. Technically, microprocessor architects report that semiconductor advancement has slowed industry-wide since around 2010, slightly below the pace predicted by Moore's Law. And in September of last year, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang considered Moore's Law dead. However, many industry professionals still view the law as alive and well. The greater issue at play is the way that Moore's Law functions. If you remember the wording from before, it is the number of transistors in an integrated circuit that doubles every 2 years. This is possible because we've gotten better at making transistors exponentially smaller in the past few decades.
but we are approaching a point where transistors are nearing the size of a literal atom. No, not that atom. Not that atom either. Oh, come on, this is just ridiculous. Finally, at that scale, creating anything is nearly impossible. This means that we need to find new ways to make computing more efficient.
This is where quantum computing and analog computing enter the mix. Quantum computing is a new, developing technology that has been theoretically in the works for several years now, while analog computing is actually an older technology that is being revisited as digital computers start to reach their limits. Both of these fields of computing are likely to be vital for the growth and development of computing for future generations, and both have very different roles to play. Quantum computing is arguably the more natural progression of computing technology, utilizing quantum mechanics to unlock a new tier of computing power. Analog computing, however, takes a step back in time to take advantage of physical mechanisms that can circumvent specific limitations of digital computers. Kind of like if using a water wheel was somehow the secret to making nuclear fusion more viable as a power source.
So what is an analog computer? Basically, where digital computers use ones and zeros to simulate scenarios and phenomena. 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 To model the problem they are designed to solve. So if you want an analog computer that could accurately predict tides, for instance, you wouldn't write a computer code, you would instead create a machine that was perfectly analogous to the tides. So what the tides did, so did this machine. That's exactly what William Ferrel did back in the late 19th century, and his tide predicting machine was how Allied forces knew the tides for the famous Normandy beach landing 60 years later. Analog computers like Ferrel's fell out of favor after digital computers became notably more powerful in the 60s and 70s. Digital computers have significantly more functionality and flexibility compared to their analog counterparts. You'll never find an analog computer that can play Pong, write a Word document, and open a PDF, for instance.
If that is the case, why on earth would we ever go back to analog computers for anything? Well, despite their limitations, analog computers are very good at their specific respective jobs. An analog computer is faster, more powerful, and significantly more energy efficient than a digital computer, but only for a specific task. Think of digital computers as the ultimate Swiss Army knife, while analog computers would instead be the better version of each individual tool. We use digital computers exclusively today because they are multi-purpose and exact, areas where analog computers cannot compete. However, we have a new purpose for analog computers: artificial intelligence. We have already devoted an entire episode to AI, so all we'll say for this story is that AI programs primarily work off neural networks. The larger the network, the smarter the AI. These networks require a ridiculous amount of math to function at the scale we want them to, and that is where analog computers come in. Like we said, analog computers are faster, stronger, and more energy efficient at performing a single task. So if you need billions of complex multiplication equations solved like these neural networks do, analog may be the way to go.
Analog computers may be the missing piece for improving the capabilities of artificial intelligence, but what about the many other functions we need computers to fulfill, like cat videos and rage comics? Those are still popular, right? Or this video. This takes us to the extremely complex and confusing world of quantum mechanics. Digital computers, no matter how powerful or complicated, boil down to a series of trillions of ones and zeros. It is a binary system, on or off, yes or no, etc. Quantum computing seeks to change that by adding additional states of being for the basic bedrock code of a computer, theoretically increasing the computation capabilities of a device exponentially. However, it's not that simple. Quantum computing is built off of the qubit, or quantum bit, which, unlike the traditional bit, can exist in a superposition of its two basis states, which loosely means that it is in both states simultaneously. What does that mean for quantum computers? Well, 2 qubits can theoretically display the equivalent value of 4 bits, and that information quantity increases exponentially. So just 25 qubits equate to 33,554,432 bits, and 300 qubits equate to more bits than there are particles in the known universe.
There's always a catch, though. Qubits can exist in multiple states simultaneously, but eventually, for the data to be usable for any computer, even a quantum one, that data must be measured in one of its 2 possible states. Without delving too deep into the intricacies of quantum mechanics, this limitation makes it to where quantum computing is not a proper replacement for traditional binary computing. That does not, however, mean that quantum computing is without its uses. A properly functioning quantum computer could shatter the current state of cryptography, ruining the security and privacy of web pages, encrypted email, and many other types of data. This naturally has massive ramifications for electronic privacy and security in a post-quantum reality. The good and bad news is that quantum computing is still just highly theoretical. The field still faces many challenges before we have viable quantum computers, and engineers and security experts are actively, preemptively researching post-quantum cryptography. For anyone who really likes to live dangerously, rewatch that last section and take a drink every time I say quantum.
The future of computing is simultaneously bright and full of possibilities while being filled with mystery and theory. With the resurgence of analog computing and how it can be applied to new areas of research, specifically artificial intelligence and machine learning, as well as the exciting potential that lies in the field of quantum computing. As technology continues to advance towards the eventual end of Moore's Law, we can only imagine what new frontiers will have to be unlocked in the coming years. However, as we can already see with the rise of AI like ChatGPT, there are dangerous ethical implications of future computing. On the assumption that analog computing can take us to the next tier of machine learning, and quantum computing will eventually break all currently existing forms of encryption, that is a future of computing that presents a lot of unknowns at best, while being extremely bleak at worst.
That's our show today. Come back in 2 weeks to keep updated on the most vital technology news, and consider checking out our blog and newsletter at burkitc.com.
Thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed the video, press like, and if you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.